Hello everyone, this is Mohammed from Python Ninja YouTube channel, and today we will learn together keyword arguments of function in Python. Keyword arguments are preceded by identifiers. We will see practically what we mean of identifiers. The keyword argument also used to organize the code in a better way when we recall the function, okay? And it make our code more readable. We can make any argument as a keyword argument by prefixing it with the name of the original argument in the function. So when we invoke the function, we have to recall the name of the argument, okay, within the value, okay. Unlike the positional arguments, the order or the position of the arguments or the position of the keyword arguments doesn't matter, okay. Let us take example. For example, I want to define a function that print my full name. So I want to define full name function, okay, and inside this function I want to add first name, I want to add the middle name, and I want to add last name, okay. So this function will do nothing but printing my first name, okay, then my middle name, and later my last name, okay. When I recall or invoke the function, I have to send inside this function the same number of arguments, okay. Here we are inserting the positional argument. So I have Muhammad, I have A, for example, for the middle name, and I have my family name. Again, the same number of parameters here should be inserted when we recall the function that we highlighted at the beginning of introducing functions in Python. And in this form we have positional arguments, okay. The order is matter here, okay, meaning that the first argument is associated with the first parameter, the middle one is associated with this one, and the last positional argument is associated with this temporary variable or parameter, okay. So we execute the function, then we print my name, okay, utilizing the function, okay. But suppose intentionally we have a problem, okay. For example, I have like this, I have my first name, then incorrectly the last name came before the middle name, then we will have like a serious problem, because my family name now is considered as a middle name, and my middle name moved to be my family name. So what is the solution in this case is to introduce what is called keyword arguments, in which we recall the function and we insert the name of the parameters, okay, that is used when we build our function. For example, I want to use for example for the middle name this keyword argument, so I can say my middle name equal A capital. This is called keyword argument. So we have to remember that this called positional argument. In the previous tutorial we learned together default arguments, which are the arguments that have default value, okay, default value, so we can assign any value here or to any parameters, but we have to also use for the next one, because the default arguments, okay, should come later and the positional argument come first. And in this tutorial we have the keywords argument, in which we assign the same name of the parameter we use to build our function, okay. By executing this code we will have a problem now. What is the problem? The problem is that we have this positional argument here, okay, associated with first name, then we have another positional argument and this map to my middle name. Okay, however, I inserted here a keyword argument with my middle name. So in Python, this understood as two values, okay, assigned to the same parameters, okay, and this doesn't work because now in Python it understood that it has double value, okay, so this is multiple value arguments for the middle name. Okay, so what is the solution now? The solution now is to move, okay, this keyword arguments, okay, from here, and we can place it here. But here we have another problem. Why? Because we highlighted in the positional arguments that the keyword argument, okay, or the default argument should be inserted at the end, okay, when we recall the function, and the positional argument at the beginning of the function. So this is understood as positional argument, and this is a keyword argument, okay, and this come on the middle, but the last argument here is still positional, so that doesn't work, okay, because whenever we start the keyword arguments, all arguments afterwards should be also keyword arguments. So when we execute this line of code, then we have the same error: positional argument follow keyword argument. So we have also to enforce the reminder arguments to be keyword arguments by adding last name equal bookmate. So whenever we have positional argument, we have to place them at the beginning, and all keywords arguments should be followed later. So when we execute this, then I have Mohammed first, I have middle name, and I have bookmate. Remember that we said that unlike the positional arguments, the position of the arguments is not important or doesn't matter. What does that mean? Meaning that if I shuffle the keyword arguments, okay, so I move this keyword argument from this place and I place this here, this means that doesn't matter. In Python, it will assign last name to this location or this position, and the middle name will be assigned here, okay? So all arguments after the positional arguments are keyword. This is valid. This is Pythonic way. And the order doesn't matter. Okay, so if we execute this, we will have the same form, okay, or the same result, because in keyword arguments we look to the name of the parameter or of the argument. Okay, so if you use middle name in this position, or you use last name in this position, that doesn't matter, and in executing the code you will find that it will respect the same format of the designed function. So in keyword arguments we have to remember two things. The first thing is that all arguments after the first keyword arguments should be keyword arguments. The second thing, the order doesn't matter. If it will, for example, if you shuffle the orders or the position of these keywords argument, the same result we will have. Indeed, we use the positional, the keyword arguments at early stage of this tutorial. For example, from the beginning tutorial, when we use the print statement, we use the keyword argument. For example, for I in range 10, let's print from 0 to 9 here. Okay, I want to print I, so I will have here from 0 to 9. Okay, now where's the keyword argument? We use like at many different codes the keyword end. End is a keyword argument, okay, and it used at early stage of this tutorial and at many codes. For example, if I use this end to be like with this hyphen, then I will print this range of numbers, and each at the end of the print we will never go to new line, but we will add hyphen or dash here. So this is keyword argument. So whenever you recall a function or invoke a function and you place the name of the argument or the parameters of the function, okay, then you use equal and the value, then you use in this case keyword arguments. Okay, another keyword arguments we use in a print statement. For example, I want to print my name Mohammed, okay, and I will print last name, for example Alukmil, and we used also another keyword argument with the print function, which is separator. Okay, for example, I want to print my first name and last name and separate them by a star. So this step is also a keyword argument. In general, this is the rule. Whenever you call any function, okay, and you place the name of the parameters or the temporary variables with the exact name, then you enforce keyword arguments. Okay, now the last thing for the keyword arguments, we want to mention that we can enforce some arguments to be keywords arguments when we design our function, not just when we recall the function. Let us figure this example. I want to define, for example, nothing, just a dummy function. What this dummy function will return to me, or it will accept my first name, okay, it will accept also my last name, okay, and it will accept the age and the job, okay, my job, okay. And look at this. We have here a set of parameters, or like function parameters, or you call them instance variables. We can enforce them to be, or any of them to be, keyword arguments if I use a star. Okay, I use this asterisk. Okay, when we use this asterisk, it separated the parameters of the function into two subsets. The first subset, what going to the left of this function, is used to be positional arguments. What exists after this is asterisk, they will be keyword arguments. So we are not allowed to just assign the value, but we have to also recall the name of these parameters. So I want to print here my first name, okay, my last name, my age, and my job. Okay, so when I recall the function or invoke this function, I have to place my first name, okay, my first name here. I have to place my last name, which is Abukmil, and after these two arguments, which are positional, their order is matter. I cannot say Abukmil first, then Muhammad. I have to follow the same order of them. I can use the reminder arguments, but I have asterisks, so I have to use them in a form of keyword arguments. Okay, so I have to use their name, the exact name of the function. I have to use equal sign, and I have to use the value. Okay, and the same of the job. Okay, for my job, I can say engineer or developer or whatever. So I can run. Okay, I have my name, okay, and I have the age, and I have the job. That's for a keywords arguments. So far, guys, we learned together the positional arguments, which are the parameters that are identified inside the function when I design a function. The order of these arguments is very important. Then we learn together the default arguments, which are the arguments that can have a default value when we design the function, like by using like equal sign, then we just assign the value. Okay, and we but remember, if I have to give this default value, I have to give the reminder as the default value. I have also to conclude the keyword arguments, which are the arguments that that have the name of the function parameters when we recall the function, or the arguments that are enforced to be keywords argument at the time when we build the function by enforcing asterisks. Okay, that's for today's tutorials, and see you next tutorial where we will introduce arbitrary arguments. So we will learn together the arbitrary arguments. In general, we will introduce what is called args and the quarks.